Britain's iconic red telephone booths are making a comeback. Payphones have fallen out of style in the cell phone era. Well, now people are finding imaginative new ways to make use of the relics. Mark Phillips is in London with the second life for many of those classic phone booths. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. Well, these things have been part of the British landscape for about 80 years, but the question is, when is a phone booth not a phone booth? The answer is now. The British famously have trouble letting go of old things. The monarchy, double-decker buses, taxi cabs that look like they were designed 60 years ago because they basically were. But when the cell phone turned the classic old red phone booths that used to adorn what seemed like every street corner into a waste of space, there was a problem. What to do with them? As nobody was using them, the phone company started taking them away. They come here to what looks like a phone booth graveyard, except it's not. It's a magical transition zone to a second life. Your job was just to collect them.
Get rid of them. Yep, take them away, they're going to replace them.
Tony Inglis ran a trucking firm that got the contract to remove the old phone booths, many of which had fallen into ruin. But something happened. Then you thought, wait a minute.
Well, we can't let them go. You know, we can't let them go. I don't know what we're going to do with them, but we just can't let them go.
So Tony started fixing them up. And surprise, surprise, people started buying them.
Yeah.
Some because they liked the old phone booths with their quaint old phones, where the operator told you how many quaint old shillings and pence to deposit. So what do I do, push it down?
Yeah, just push it down. Woo! And you're hearing these bells and gongs. Yeah. That's telling the operator
that you made the deposit.
Coin's gone through.
Playing with old phones, however, only went so far. Well, you've proved these booths, it turned out, had legs. Tony's refurbished more than 2,000 of them. Others started showing up around the country, being put to all sorts of new uses. That old booth on the village green turned out to be a great place to put a defibrillator. Local libraries found them handy places from which to run book exchanges. How about a coffee shop?
We're good, thank you.
They were already in prime retail locations, or a hat stall, florist, salad bar, or an antisocial disco. And perhaps the most ironic use.
We are able to replace the battery in 10
This one operates as a cell phone repair shop. How's that for recycling? The things are already popular. Few tourists come to town without the mandatory selfie in front of one of the ones still around. That they'd be a natural place to do business seemed obvious to Eddie Ottewell, who started renting them out. They seem to have an attraction, as you can see. But what is it about these things?
They're just iconic. The red phone books are the history. They're bomb-proof. They've been through wars. They've been through, you name it, they've been through everything.
The booths were famous for one other thing. They were a natural advertising place for escort services. Still are, apparently. How long does it take you to get the escort service cards out of the inside?
These ones, we used to rake up like autumn leaves, stacks of these things.
These weren't just phone booths. They were cultural signposts, and they won't go away. In fact, many of them can't be moved. They've been declared what's called listed, culturally and historically significant buildings. Just as well, John, that they found other uses for them.
Thank goodness. Mark Phillips in London for us. Oh, I love those phones.
I know, they bring back memories, right?
They really do.
There'll be some people that'll look at them and go, what is that? How does that work? But we all know.
And nobody tells it better than Mark.
Yeah, that's true.